Hello, I'm Brandon Martini, a commercial pilot and flight instructor.
And I'm Carson Vasquez. I'm a private pilot.
And you're listening to the Aviation Mentors podcast sponsored by Stratus Financial.
So buckle up because the Aviation Mentors are taking off.
Welcome, everybody, back to day 2 of Sun and Fun for the Aviation Mentors podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the episode we released for day 1. We had a lot of fun walking around and talking to different people. And we're kind of doing the same thing we did yesterday. We're going to be walking around and checking out some really cool things. And of course, what does Brandon find right when we start? And that is seaplanes. We actually found, I believe it's the exact air cam that I did my multi-engine seaplane rating in. We're starting to walk up to it. It's big, it's yellow, and it has a front cover on it. When I flew it, it was open cockpit. So I'm going to check and see if the tail number is the same. Yep, November 51 Sierra Charlie. That was the one I did it in.
That is so cool. This thing's beautiful. Bright yellow. It's got black on the wingtips. Looks like a bumblebee. I can imagine doing my seaplane in it. It's super cool. Having a covered cockpit, I feel like they just did that just because we're in Florida. It's going to start raining here eventually, so it's not great weather.
Well, it's a lot of fun to fly. I mean, this thing is very capable. They say that you can actually take off on one engine. Obviously, you're not going to do that, but they say that it has that type of capability. Like, that's how strong it is for such a really light airplane. So I'm really a big fan of this air cam. Thought it looked really goofy at first, and then I flew it, and I'm like, wow, this thing really flies really nice.
Last night, of course, on the way back to the hotels, we were driving, and we saw an air cam flying right above the freeway. And I was like, Brandon, that's your plane. It's the air cam. Sure enough, we start walking, and the first thing he sees is an air cam. And, yesterday we ended at just the wrong time. I saw my favorite flight go on. I saw the P-51 fly with the F-35, and it's like the tribute flight that they do at air shows, and that's my favorite one. Brandon, how do you feel about that one?
I like airplanes, so of course I liked it.
Good comment. That's a good soundbite right there. I like airplanes. That's I sure hope you do.
Yeah, I really like P-51 Mustang. I just wish they weren't so expensive so I could own one day. But you never know. Might be able to. And we just found, of course, another seaplane because, but none of them are in water, unfortunately. But I do like these seaplanes. This one says it's by northeastaviation.com. It's a mall on amphibs, which is pretty cool. Oh, and also they've got the AC Technologies, what do they call this thing? Robot that moves the airplane around. They've got one at Kavu that I like to use all the time, but the wheel doesn't quite work in this one. I don't know, it's a little weird. But this mall is pretty cool. And it's always weird when you see seaplanes like on land because they're so high compared to like a normal mall. You could like look into the cockpit in the interior. But on here, you would have to like climb up stairs almost just to get up to it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's weird to see them out of their natural habitat. Brandon, look up this one right here. This one's got cases for your guns right on the side of it, on the strut. How cool is that?
That is really cool.
This is a hunting plane.
Yeah.
This is a massive tail wheel, and it has these giant bush wheels on the front.
So now we've just found some helicopters. You know what? It's really weird not hearing a bunch of airplane noise going on right now. But the clouds are like, I don't know, 1,000 feet above the ground. So we're not getting very much airplane noise, unfortunately, today. But we just found some cool helicopters. I don't know what this one is, but it's got a giant jet engine on the back of it. It looks like it's from like a military type of airplane. And I have no idea what it is. Carson, do you see any signs on this thing? Tell us what it is.
No, I see an old label on it, but not much on it.
Armée de Terre. I don't know. Obviously, we both don't speak different languages very well, so we'll have to figure that out. Oh, here it is. They're demonstrating a remote tug by ACR Technology. Oh, so this is where they've got their booth at. And they're at a Chino airport. They're really local to us, too. They've got really cool guys that work there. And the owner, I've met him several times over the years, so I'm sure we'll find him again in a little bit.
Yeah, but these helicopter tugs look a lot more complicated than just the normal airplane ones. It's cool seeing all these people from back home, all these Southern California companies that we're always so close to.
Yeah, we even saw Sling Pilot Academy. They were one of the first schools with Stratus Financial, so we have a special place in our heart for them. And we noticed they're here too, and literally on the other side of the U.S., so really far away. And we just came by a plane, a Jabiru, and they even have, I believe it's U.S. Aviation uses these. It looks like that's what looks like their logo, at least. And they're just a brand new partner school of Stratus's as well, so which is really cool. But I like this Jabiru. It's really small. It's compact. And it looks like it's all composite, which is pretty neat.
And I don't know if it's just because I've been coming to air shows now, a lot more than I ever have been. but it seems like light sports are really becoming popular. I'm seeing all sorts of light sport kits and light sport planes. Even manufacturers like Vector Harmony are at shows like this. Brandon, how do you feel about light sports?
I like light sports, except I'm a bigger guy, so I can normally only take a little bit of fuel and one person. Obviously, I own a light sport. The Icon is a light sport. Can't get through one episode without mentioning Icon, of course. And I don't see them here, by the way, still, but we're going to look for them. We did find one that Flying Magazine's given away. But light sports are really cool, capable airplanes. They cost a fraction of what a new certified airplane cost. So I'm really a big fan of the light sports. I think that they're the new way that people are going to get into flight training. I think that it's more cost effective to fly those. They don't cost $500,000 for like a brand new 172.
And you're not spending $80 an hour on fuel.
Exactly. I mean, it's like 3 to 5 gallons an hour. A lot of them can use car gas. There's a bunch of contributing factors on those airplanes. Just the biggest downside is the weight limits on them, to be honest. And I wish the weight limits were a little higher. There's been talk with the FAA to increase those weight limits. And Icon got an exception. So they actually got an increased weight limit, but it was only so they could put in the ballistic parachute. So they did it for a safety reason, obviously.
The Icon has a parachute?
It does. It has a parachute. Yeah.
Yeah, just one thing to make that plane just a little bit better. I feel like at this point, Icon should be sponsoring this podcast, considering how much we talk about them.
You know, I have a meeting with them later today to go talk Icon stuff, and let's see if I can pitch that to them. I think that sounds pretty good.
Bring it up. That way, we already mentioned Icon every episode. Might as well. But this place is huge. The weather's kind of bringing me down. I really hope that there's the night air show, and it doesn't mess things up too much. Okay, getting rained on a little bit. Don't mind that. We have an indoor booth at Stratus Financial. Hangar B, if you guys want to come stop by. But I really hope it doesn't mess up the night air show. Talked yesterday about how much we're looking forward to it and how cool it is. I know they've rescheduled if anything, but I was looking forward to staying up all night and watching airplanes.
Oh, and by the way, if anybody does come to the Stratus booth in Building B, we have Aviation Mentor shirts. All you have to do is let us know that you listen to us, and we'll give you a free one. We've got every size, men's and women's sizes. Come on down and grab them. I'm not sure, do we have any kid sizes, Carson?
No, we don't have kid sizes, but we do have double X. And, I'm double X. I like wearing some comfy shirts. So we just had them made last week, and we're super excited to hand them out. So come on, stop by, tell us you listen to our podcast, and we'll give you a shirt.
Yeah, and there was a couple people yesterday that said they were already listeners, and I totally forgot to give them a shirt. So if you met me or Carson at the Stratus Financial booth and I did not give you a shirt, just reach out to us, and we'll put one in the mail. We'll send it over to you. And if you want to, just let us know. We'll send them over. It'll be great to send them to you. And if you're still at Sun and Fun this week, just come on by the booth and we'll hand you one in person. Carson, what do you think of these Diamond airplanes? I'm not really sure. We're just, like I said earlier, we're walking past all these different aircraft, so we're talking about some of them, but I'm not sure if I like the regular Diamond, like DA single engines. But I'll tell you this, that DA62 is really, really calling my name.
I know that one's calling your name. You love multis. But I'm looking at this DA50 RG. This thing looks beautiful. And it looks like they have like this matte gray paint all over it. And I think I really love Diamonds. Like, these are absolutely beautiful airplanes. And they just look massive. They look like my favorite airplane, like a Pilatus PC-12, but just smaller. And like an individual version. Definitely more expensive than a Cessna 172 that we're flying. But this thing looks gorgeous. And I would love to have one of these. Never been a Diamond. I think it's time I should fly one. Sure, Brandon can get that set up for me, right?
I have a couple friends who own Diamonds, so I'm sure we could probably arrange that. One of them's a partner school in Southern California and has Diamonds. I believe he's got a few of them, but that's EFI Flight School. I believe they have a few Diamonds. And also, if you guys want to go check out in Southern California, if you want to go fly light sport, Next Gen Flight Academy also has an Vector Harmony. So I'd go check out that too if you want to fly a light sport. Lots of amazing partner schools, and we're seeing a bunch of them here. I know Jet Access is here as well. Like I already mentioned, Sling Pilot Academy, Fast Flight Track is here, and I'm sure there's more that I went and saw yesterday, but I haven't seen them today.
And you know what time it is, Brandon? I think it's Warbird Country time. So let's go into the Warbird area and go check these out.
Absolutely. I wonder how many are here. The weather's been kind of iffy today, and I know a lot of people will be arriving today to the show, especially because the coolest part of this air show is going to be the night air show tonight. So I'm really hoping it doesn't get scrubbed because it's kind of cloudy. But normally in the afternoon, the clouds kind of get together and they'll move to different areas, hopefully, because thunderstorms in the afternoon in Florida, right? I'm just really grateful that there's a breeze today and it's not as hot as yesterday because that was absolutely brutal.
And I was wearing jeans yesterday, so of course they were sticking to my legs. Oh, it was so gross. But so much better today. They have that cockpit over there. Is that the one they used in Top Gun?
That's the Top Gun
That's
cockpit.
the Top Gun cockpit. This is awesome. I remember seeing this thing right before Top Gun Maverick came out. Actually, that's when we were at Oshkosh and we saw a little preview.
I don't know if it was before or after, but it was cool. They brought this. We watched Top Gun Maverick at Oshkosh. They had it inside the not sure what it was called, but kind of the theater. I think it's called Theater in the Woods. Yeah. Theater in the Woods. So they had it at Theater in the Woods, and we got to watch Top Gun, and people got to sit inside the little cockpit and stuff. I think Austin went in it. It was pretty neat.
Yep, the F-18 Hornet cockpit. This thing's awesome.
Besides that, I just found the smallest N number I've ever seen in my life, and it's November 72. Not five letters or numbers, just November 72. I've flown an airplane that had 3 letters number 6 Echo Charlie, November 6 Echo Charlie, but I've never flown one with 2, which is really interesting. And what is this airplane, Carson?
Owned by the FAA. I know FAA owns or November 1.
So that means they must have 72 airplanes.
At least 72 airplanes. Of course, they steal all the good numbers for themselves. I'm sure they could be. They could auction off the low tail numbers.
I doubt they'll auction off any of those, unfortunately.
like they do in Saudi Arabia. The lower the license plate number, the more expensive it is.
I have heard about that in Dubai. Dubai does that too.
Yeah.
So Lockheed Electra Jr. This is a really beautiful airplane. It says this one was manufactured in May of 1937. It was actually used in Continental Airplanes as one of their first aircraft. Sold to Canadian Air Force and then Texaco. And wow, and now it's owned by somebody named Ariel. What a beautiful airplane.
Yeah, polished and ceramic coated. This thing is gorgeous. I think it's really cool seeing all these, just polished silver steel airplanes. You don't get to see them. It's not common anymore. Unless a plane has just been stripped of its paint for some reason and just not painted, you're not going to see that. It's so cool. And then you go over here, and there's the Aerospace Technologies. These guys have the brightest lights I've ever seen. Follow on Instagram. These dudes have crazy lights. All of them.
Yeah, I've bought several of their lights for wings and even landing lights. But this is Mike Julian's airplane. He does amazing aerobatics with this thing, and it is absolutely beautiful to see.
Yeah, these guys that do aerobatics are crazy. I don't know how they do it. I'm afraid of doing a spin. I got my spin training, and I was a little nervous. It was my first time ever doing that. And these guys just do absolutely crazy things that a plane should not be able to do, but they're able to do it.
Well, we just walked to some T-28Bs. I used to own a T-28, actually. I actually bought it in Florida, had it transported to California, and Rich got to fly it. And
How many times did you fly it?
I flew it 0 times, unfortunately. I did taxi it. I could turn it on, and it was a really fun airplane to own, but I didn't own it for very long. I owned it for like a year and a half, but I didn't own it to do anything besides selling it. So I bought it to sell it. Unfortunately, I didn't ever get to fly it. The guy who flew it home, I was really jealous of him because he flew it home. I mean, I never got to do that. But
it must have been like a 2-hour flight.
It's not that fast, but it is pretty capable.
Yeah, this thing is awesome. You pulled it up to the terminal, and I was able to get in it a couple days before it was sold. And just get in, look around from the cockpit. I remember it was pretty sketchy climbing up on such a high wing. Yeah, the root of the wing, you're already at your top of your head level. It's crazy. And the props on these things, they look like massive paddles, like big oars. It's a beautiful plane, beautiful radial engine. Yeah, we talked about radial engines yesterday.
Yeah, these planes have to swim through the sea of air, and they're big airplanes. Did you know on the back, I know you do, Carson, but some of our listeners, they might not know. If you ever want to get on a T-28, the way you get in is you actually climb up the flaps. The flaps come down, and there's little holes where you put your feet into them. And that's exactly how you get up into the T-28. And watching the T-28's kind of cockpit close up is really, really, really cool because you just press a button and the whole cockpit just slides forward. And I actually see another T-28 in the distance. I don't think we're going to go that far to go look at it in person right now.
But it's the same Navy paint scheme as yours, right?
It was, yeah. I had the all white with orange accents on it. Orange and black accents was pretty cool. And look what I just found for you, Carson.
Oh,
your dad's favorite airplane.
Corsair. There we go. These planes are so gorgeous. When you look at them, you can tell it's an iconic wing style. And when you look at them, you know what it is. These things are beautiful.
And right next to it, we found a P51 Mustang, and I just read wine on it, and it actually says McSwine. So it was really funny that I only saw the last 4 letters of that word.
That's what your brain picked up. Yeah, so there's so few of these Corsairs that I've seen this last year, which I think is pretty awesome.
All right, we just came up to a Chinook right now, and they're doing some type of demonstration of all of the weapon systems on it, and it's got machine guns on both sides of it, which are quite awesome to see. It looks like they've got live rounds in it, but I'm sure they're not actually live. They're probably just some fake ones. And this boom to transfer fuel is massive. I can't even imagine. If you just make one small, terrible correction and you push the nose down, when you are area refueling in a helicopter, you just like cut off the entire
boom.
The entire boom. It looks crazy to me that anybody would ever do that, but somebody does it. I mean, they've got winches on the sides. This thing is full capable, and it's painted like all black, like special ops look. I can just imagine this like landing in Lawton's compound, and I would be scared. So
I'd be scared just looking at this thing.
I mean,
massive black helicopter. This thing's awesome. I'm glad they're on our side.
The last plane we're going to look at for this episode is the Crazy Horse Mustang P51. This plane is world famous. It's been in movies. It's been in television. And when you see this thing in person, it is just absolutely beautiful. It's blue nose with classic polished sides and then black and white wings. It's just incredible. If you haven't seen the Crazy Horse airplane, you should look it up on YouTube immediately. I mean, just go look at it and go see what it does. It's a capable airplane. I mean, it's a P-51. What's not to like, right?
Yeah, Mustang's just incredible plane. Everyone knows it. And it's cool also seeing what you don't see when you see these airplanes is all the people that travel with them. It's not just one person flying that airplane in, and they have an RV with their whole logo, and Crazy Horse has its own beautiful RV next to it. And just has their logo, and there are a whole team of people that take care of this plane, aside from the person just flying it.
Yeah, there's whole teams of people that take care of each and every one of these aircraft that are here today. They are beautiful to look at. They're amazing to see, and they're part of history. So I'm really grateful that we get to see them still, and luckily we get to see a lot of them fly at shows like Sun and Fun and Oshkosh. So with that being said, we will see you guys either later this afternoon or tomorrow. One more episode from Sun and Fun directly. I know I'll be leaving late tonight, I think after the night air show. But Carson will be here. Amanda will be here in the Stratus Financial booth, having a great time talking to a lot of our borrowers, our future borrowers at Stratus, as well as a lot of our partner schools and, of course, our future partner schools. If you'd like to reach out to either one of us, you can reach me at Brandon@aviationmentors.com. Reach Carson at Carson@aviationmentors.com.
And as always, remember, we're here to guide you in your aviation journey, so fly safe and enjoy the ride.